And of course, spiritually everything's connected. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaja Prabhupada ki Jai Om Vishnupada Paramahamsa Parivajacharya Ashtadhara Saraswati Gaur Das Babaji Maharaj ki Jai Om Vishnupada Paramahamsa Parivajacharya Shri Satchidananda Bhaktivedanta Thakur ki Jai Om Vishnupada Paramahamsa Parivajacharya Ashtadhara Saraswati Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj ki Prabhupada ki, Satchidananda Bhaktivedanta Thakur Tirubha Mahotsav ki, Shri Gadadhara Pandita Tirubha Mahotsav ki, Shri Gornitai ki, Shri Shabaram ki, Shri Radha Govinda Madhava ki, Gaur Premanandi, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga, all glories to Shri Prabhupada. Hare Krishna. So, as you can see, on the screen this morning, we have our presentation.
A magnificent blue screen.
Huh?
A magnificent blue screen.
Blue screen, yeah. Reminds us of Krishna.
Is this the one we usually use?
Yes, it is. Yeah, it's the standard one. It's come from, it's the one that works with Apple Mac. But the problem is probably here. You can do one other thing, which may or may not work. You can try this other lead. It may not work. I'm developing a saying, we hope for the best and expect the worst.
It's not one of these buttons here with the function.
You've got no
Maharaj.
idea.
May I just try?
You can try anything you like. But the most likely thing, I'm having an awful lot of difficulty with these ports. They're not working 50% of the time. And today it's probably the 50% of the time when they don't work. So when something works, we become jubilant. And we're not getting too disappointed nowadays when things don't work.
This one actually.
It's a very long wire. Yeah, oh, it won't make much difference because it has to connect to that. Doesn't make any difference. Oh, it does. We can try, I don't know if we can try this or not. Is it long enough to fit your end? Let's see if that works.
No, it's the wrong
Well,
type of
can't
connector.
Oh, it's the wrong one, is it?
Whether or not it reaches directly, I don't know.
Huh?
Oh, I see. No, our lead is working.
I know, but maybe that this will go in there and this
No,
won't.
it's a male, you see.
Let's just see how long it is.
This is, we'll try it, and if it doesn't work, we adjust.
Yeah.
And nothing is.
Maharaj, you sure is a connection because I have one. I can try with this one also. I have one.
No, I mean for the last 6 months this has not been working. The ports have not been working on my computer. And my charger only works 1 out of 3 times, so there's a good chance it won't work. It might not be, but there's a good chance it will.
Same. So I
But,
think
there's,
sometimes you can.
What other choices we have? Other choices are another computer, and someone can quickly put it on a flash drive and put it on another computer. So that's another choice.
I have a computer.
Well, that's another choice, isn't it? I'm not saying we have to do that, but that's another choice. But it would make life easier, especially as you will not find this very easily anywhere else. You can try that if you wish. This is also not working. Huh?
You can send one if you.
There could be some technical problems. Does anyone have? I have a flash drive if you want to try it. I can't guarantee that will work. As I said, getting used to things not working these days. At least I had a flash drive. Maybe I haven't got it with me. Oh, that works. I remember one thing works. The Maha Mantra. Hare Krishna. We may not work. We're not working very well. Technical things may not work very well. I'm not sure. I didn't bring my flash drive with me by the looks of it.
You can send if it's
Send it by email.
you can send it by email.
Oh my God,
Janananda,
it's very, very big. And I doubt whether the email is strong enough
I may have
to
a.
handle it.
Give it an airdrop.
Oh, here's the flash drive.
I mean,
Here's the flash drive.
probably.
But whether that will work as well, let's see. It all depends.
How big is the?
It's all, let's move as quickly as we can in whatever way we can, if that works, if the Kingston comes up. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Well, let's chant Panchatattva, since Gadadhara Pandita is part of the Panchatattva. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasani Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda. It came up. It came up. Shri on there.
It came up.
Shri Advaita. Just press that. Gadadhara. Oh, you have to press that, yeah. Oh, keep on singing. Keep on singing. I want to get on the blue screen with nothing else. Chaitanya. Another Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama
Switch. You have to
Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare. He doesn't have that.
we save it as PDF.
It's working.
It's working, but you don't have Balaram font.
I guess we save it as PDF.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. We're having a little interesting experience here with technology. It didn't exist during Bhakti Vinod Thakur's time, at least this type of technology, but it's all part of the challenge. To achieve, let's say, Krishna consciousness is not an easy thing, no doubt about that. So we're hoping it'll work in a few minutes. You don't have Balaram font on this computer, and it won't work without Balaram font. If anyone wants to read the database or anything like this, you have to have this particular font called Balaram. Especially in New Mayapur, we must have Balaram in New Mayapur. And he's on the altar, but the curtains are closed, so we're trying to download him here. And let's see what happens. Is it on Balaram font now? Is it on PDF? Is it on the screen? Oh my goodness, this is a revolution.
We just have to see how to make it
Pardon?
an appropriate size. I don't know if
I don't know if we need to worry about that too much. Anything is okay at this point in time, Asika. Let us not worry about too many details. As long as the principle is there. Is there a picture? Okay, there is a way of making this, full size. You know, there's one button you press, and I never remember which one it is. It's something. And what to do? I can't even read it. It's beyond me. Anyway, we'll soldier forward, and if anyone has the technological genius, another thing you can do, or you can't really, you're fixed. Otherwise we could move the projector, but you can't move. Hare Krishna. So today, being the Tirobhav of Srila Gadadhara Pandit, I'm going to start now, Rasika, so we're going to have to say thank you. Any luck?
Yeah.
Wow, that was brilliant. Well done, everybody. your chanting of the Panchatattva Mahamantra was the cause of the success here. So we'll start just by chanting Jai Jai Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhaktarupa Shvarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakti Shaktikam And one verse from Chaitanya Charitamrita, 10th chapter, the Adi Lila, text 15. We can chant it together for the sake of chanting together here. Pada Shaka Gadadhara Pandita Goswami
Pada Shaka Gadadhara Pandita Goswami
Teno Lakshmi Rupa Tanra Samakehanai
Teno Lakshmi Rupa Tanra Samakehanai.
Gadadhara Pandit, the fourth branch, is described as an incarnation of the pleasure potency of Sri Krishna. No one therefore can equal him. So in the Panchatattva we have three Prabhus, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Lord Nityananda Prabhu and Advaita Prabhu. And then Gadadhara Pandit and Srivas Thakur. Who are the servants known as the servitor Godheads. At least Gadadhara Pandit is the servitor Godhead. In this case, as the internal potency of the Lord. And here we see, it's not just Gadadhara Pandit. If you look at the word for word, we see Gadadhara Pandit Goswami. And it's the English equivalent of that given here, at least in Prabhupada's Chaitanya Charitamrita. It states the descendants or disciplic succession of Gadadhara Pandit. And Gadadhara Pandit. They're still, of course, present on the planet, many of the descendants of Gadadhara Pandit. Who are they? Well, he was never married, he was Goswami. So, disciples, his line of devotion are there. Maybe that will come up a little later. When he appears to assist all these different devotees who appear in Gaur Lila, they're all assistants of the Lord in his pastimes. Gadadhara Pandit is in many ways the most deep, esoteric amongst all of the associates. And that's described here. He is the internal pleasure potency. In the spiritual realm, the pleasure potency personified by Srimati Radharani. Nagini Shakti, all the various expansions of that realm, the internal associates there. Bhakti Siddhanta calls them Shakti Tattva, this is the term, Shakti Tattva. They're not Jiva Tattva. From Srivas Thakur, Bhakti Siddhanta Maharaj describes the Jiva Tattva devotees. From Gadadhara Pandit, the Shakti Tattva devotees. There's a lot to be said about that. It's not as simple as that. But basically speaking, all of his followers are all part of that Shakti Tattva. They're all on that platform. They're eternal associates. They're the Lord's Parishavs, they're his eternal associates in relationship with, in this case, Gadadhara Pandit. So we're going to sing a song now. We're going to try. Nothing's the first time, so we'll see what happens. It's called Sri Gadadhara Ashtakam. This is by Srila Srup Damodar Goswami. Who better than Srup Damodar Goswami to compile Gadadhara Ashtakam? Again, the most confidential associate of the Lord, none other than Lalita Devi herself. And sometimes it's said that Gadadhara Pandit, not sometimes, it's stated in Shastra, that he's also Lalita Devi. This is very confusing to material perspective. In fact, Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj says that if we try to put a material perspective or try to understand Gadadhara Pandit from external vision, we will create a great offense and a blunder, and our devotional lives will be hijacked or wrecked. So, again, maybe if time allows, we'll hear a little bit about that later. So, Gadadhara Pandit, it's the mood, the inner mood of the Lord. Everything's arranged to bring unending pleasure to Krishna. So that's Radharani's very existence. The pleasure of Krishna and all of her expansions. And they're all different aspects of that. Bringing pleasure to Krishna, personified. So in Gaur Lila, Gadadhara Pandit especially is very, very prominent in this regard. It's practically a constant associate of Lord Chaitanya. In his childhood, as well as in his pastimes in Puri. So we'll sing this song. It's not so much a song. It's more of a rhyme than a song, but it can be followed, perhaps not with the madanga, unless someone's very expert. It's a kind of a 2-3 beat. Let's see. We'll see if we can get the rhyme at least. Let me sing a little bit first before you start. Okay? Bhakti yoga lasinam sadavaje viharinam Hari priya ganagam chachi sutta priyeshwaram Yoga lasinam sadavaje viharinam Hari priya ganagam chachi sutta priyeshwaram Sarada Krishna Sevana Pakachakam Mahachayam Bhajamyaham Gadadharam Supanditam Gurum Prabhum
Sarada Krishna Sevana Pakachakam Mahachayam Bhajamyaham Gadadharam Supanditam Gurum Prabhum.
It would be good to have a button. That's right. Any agile young gentleman like to come here and press the relevant button? Otherwise I've got to stop playing the cartels after every verse, which is not a problem. It would be better not to. Button press, please. As much as you can. At least drone, if nothing else.
So,
I'll say.
maybe Sanskrit or no?
Huh?
No Sanskrit?
This is a translation, isn't it? I worship the greatly learned. Okay, I'll do it. Because I've got to stop anyway for the English number. I worship the greatly learned and exalted spiritual master, Srila Gadadhara Prabhu, who appears very splendid, engaged in the Lord's devotional service. He always performs pastimes in Vraj, where he is very prominent among the gopis, who are very dear to Lord Hari. Lord Chaitanya the son of Sachi, is the dear Lord of Gadadhara Prabhu, who is preaching the service of Radha and Krishna. This is also not Balaram font exactly. You can have the diacritic marks being Never Jalad. No, stop. Never. I lost it because of the drum. What was it again? Vivavana Vidana Kama Paragam Vichitra Gora Bhakti Sindhu Raga Bhagalasinam Ojala Vivavana Vidana Kama Paragam Vichitra Gora Bhakti Sindhu Raga Bhagalasinam Turaga Magadashakam Bajari Vasadayakam Ajamyaham Gadadharam Supanditam Gurum
Ragavargadasakam Prajani Vasadayakam Prajamyaham Gadadharam Supanditam Gurum Prabhu.
Better not draw. I worship the greatly learned spiritual master, Srila Gadadhara Prabhu. He is expertly absorbed in meditation on the 9 rasas of devotional service, beginning with Ujjvala Rasa, conjugal love. And he dances in the waves of the amazing ocean of devotional service to Lord Chaitanya. He preaches the path of Raganuga Bhakti, spontaneous devotional service, and he is a fit person to attain residence in the transcendental land of Braj. And he was a very famous dancer, always dancing. It's said that at night Lord Chaitanya would often go to the beach in Jagannath Puri, and together with the Gadadhara Pandit they would dance all night long. Don't imitate that in the forest of New Mayapur. Sachi Sutta Visara Bhakta Vrindavandya Gauravam Gaurabhava Chitta Padma Madhya Krishna Balavam Sachi Sutta Visara Bhakta Vrindavandya Gauravam Gaurabhava Chitta Padma Madhya Krishna Balavam Mukunda Gaura Rupinam Svabhava Dharmadayakam Bhajamyaham Gadadharam Supanditam Gurum Prabhu
Mukunda Gaura Rupinam Svabhava Dharmadayakam Bhajamyaham Gadadharam Supanditam Gurum Prabhu.
I worship the greatly learned spiritual master, Srila Gadadhara Prabhu, the best of those who are devoted to the lotus feet of Lord Chaitanya, the son of Sachi Devi. Offer respectful obeisances to him and treat him with great importance, and he is very dear to Lord Krishna, who is seated in the middle of the lotus flower, which is his heart, assuming his golden form of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He preaches that Lord Mukunda has assumed the golden form of Lord Chaitanya, and he returns the living entities to their constitutional position as servants of the Lord. Kunja seva nadika pasanaika kaharanam sadasakivati padam maharasa sarupakam. Kunja seva nadika pasanaika kaharanam sadasakivati padam maharasa sarupakam. Sadachari Sacha Sadachari different one. I think that's a mistake. Yeah, I know, but that may be a mistake. Sajatri Tati Pankajam Sariri Satgurum Varam Bhajamyaham Gadadharam Sapanditam Garam Prabham.
Sajatri Tati Pankajam Sariri Satgurum Varam Bhajamyaham Gadadharam Sapanditam Gurum Prabhu.
I worship the greatly learned and exalted spiritual master, Srila Gadadhara Prabhu, who appears very splendid, engaged in the Lord's devotional service. He always performs pastimes in Vraj, where he is very prominent among the gopis, who are very dear to Lord Hari. Seems to be the same translation, doesn't it? Lord Chaitanya, the son of Sachi, is the dear Lord of Gadadhara Prabhu, who is preaching the service of Radha and Krishna. Mahaprabho Mahavasa Pakasanam Kuram Priyam Saha Sada Mahavasat Guru Prakachanadi Vasanam
Mahaprabho Maharaja Prakasanam Gudam
Mahaprabhu Vajamganadi Baba Varakarakam Vajamyaham Gadadharam Sapanditam Karam
Mahaprabhu Vajamganadi Baba Varakarakam Vajamyaham Gadadharam Sapanditam Karam.
I worship the greatly learned spiritual master, Srila Gadadhara Prabhu. He is very dear to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and it is as if he had sprouted from the manifestation of the Lord's ecstatic love. He is always adorned with the garments of ecstatic love of Godhead. And he delights Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu by arousing in the Lord the ecstatic emotional love experienced by the gopis of Raj. Dvichendra Vindavanya Pada Yugma Bhakti Vardakam Nicheshuvadi Katmatava Pupakashanagraham
Dvichendra Vindavanya Pada Yugma Bhakti Vardakam Nicheshuvadi Katmatava Pupakashanagraham
Ashesha Bhakti Shastra Shiksha Yajvalatmikam Papam Gamyaham Gadadharam Sapanditam Varunavum
Ashesha Bhakti Shastra Shiksha Yajvalamrita Prabham Vachamyaham Gadadharam Supanditam Gurum Prabhu.
I worship the greatly learned spiritual master, Srila Gadadhara Prabhu, who expands the mellows of devotional service, and whose lotus feet are worshipped by the kings of the Brahmanas. Among his confidential associates, he reveals his actual form as Srimati Radharani. He distributes the nectar of the ecstatic mellow of the gopis' conjugal love, strictly following the instructions of all the devotional scriptures. Udhanija priyadika svapada padmasnik sindubir maharasana vamita kadeshta goda bhaktitam.
Udhanija priyadika svapada padmasindubir maharasana vamita kadeshta goda bhaktitam.
Tasta satvikam vitam nijeshta bhaktidayakam vajamyaham gadadharam supanditam varunavum.
Tasta satvikam vitam nijeshta bhaktidayakam vajamyaham gadadharam supanditam gurum prabhu.
I worship the greatly learned spiritual master, Srila Gadadhara Prabhu. With delight he is giving the devotional service of Lord Chaitanya, which reveals the nectarian ocean of the most exalted mellows of devotional service, along with the nectar flowing from the lotus feet of the gopis, headed by Srimati Radharani, who is most dear to Krishna. Gadadhara Prabhu is decorated with the 8 transcendental ecstatic symptoms of Sattvika Bhava, and he is distributing devotional service to his worshipable Lord Krishna. Yadiya riti raga raga bhaga dekta manaso roa piyati tuna eva nayalava. I'll start that again. Yadiya riti raga raga bhaga dekta manaso roa piyati tuna eva nayalava bhajana. I worship the greatly learned spiritual master, Srila Gadadhara Prabhu, even a conditioned soul whose mind becomes anointed by by the colourful waves of spontaneous devotional service as delineated by Srila Gadadhara Prabhu, quickly attains the highest level of devotional service. He becomes like a maddened bumblebee whose mind is anointed with a mellow of Ujjvala Ras and Juga love. Maharasamita Prabdam Sadagadada Ashtakam Tektu Yaksabhakito Jaganavano Sabam
Samrita Palam Sadagadada Ashtakam Tektu Yaksabhakito Jaganavano Sabam
Jituna Japatma Patma Bhakti Latta Yogatam Abeka Adhika Gadada Adhipatma Sivaya
Jita Nuja Para Padma Bhakti Ratta Yogatam Adhika Gadadara Adhipatma Sivaya.
Jai Shri Gadadhara Astakam Ki Jai.
Jai.
These 8 verses glorifying Srila Gadadhara Prabhu distilled the nectar of the most exalted mellow of devotional service, and they are like a festival for the gopis of Vraj. If one regularly reads these verses and serves the lotus feet of Srila Gadadhara Prabhu, who is an incarnation of Srimati Radharani, then he will become qualified to attain the jewel of pure devotional service for the lotus feet of Lord Chaitanya, the son of Sachi Devi. We find in the Gorganadesh Dipika, Kavikana Pura, Gadadhara Paditakya Sarada Lalita Sakti Yukta Sakti. Gadadhara Pandita is an incarnation of Srimati Radharani, the internal potency of Lord Krishna, again confirmed. We're going to read a few verses. Pandita Baba Mudra Kahananayai Gadadhara Prananata Nam Hailayai. No one can describe the characteristics and ecstatic love of Gadadhara Pandit. Therefore, another name for Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Gadadhara Prananath, the life and soul of Gadadhara Pandit. This is from Chaitanya Charitamrita, most of these verses. Pandite Prabhura Prasada Kahananayai Gadai Goranga Bali Anve Lokai Gai. No one can say how merciful the Lord is to Gadadhara Pandit, but people know the Lord is Gadaira Garanga, the Lord Garanga of Gadadhara Pandit. Panditara Sojanya Brahmanyata Guna Dita Prema Mudra Loki Kalila Kyapana. Gadadhara Pandit is celebrated all over the world for his gentle behavior, his brahminical attributes, and his steady love for Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It doesn't seem to be the mood of Radharani. She's very much, say, gentle behavior, you could say that, but generally she's seen as Bhama, very fiery. In France now, also left wing, right wing. Radharani is left wing. He's very fiery. On the other side, the right wing is Chandravali. She's very submissive, light, quiet, gentle, sober. And Gadadhara Pandit is in that mood. He's also an expansion of Radharani, but that's her mood, or his mood. Antare anugraha vayu pekshara praya vayartaye laya se nashaya. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was actually always merciful within his heart, but he was sometimes externally negligent of his devotees. We should not be preoccupied with his external feature, however, for if we do so, we shall be vanquished. Sometimes we may criticize the behavior or doubt the behavior of the Lord or his devotees. It seems sometimes quite, challenging in terms of their interaction, whether it's Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu here behaving with Gadadhara Pandit, rejecting him. In this particular section of the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Lord Chaitanya is basically, he did the same thing with Mukunda. He rejected him. Mukunda was associating a little bit with persons who were not so pure devotees. He was very submissive also. And it's interesting because Mukunda and Gadadhara do have a relationship too, the same submissive mood. And Gadadhara was associating with Balabhabata. Balabhabata is, again, is all pastimes, you could say. They all appear to fulfill or satisfy the Lord's desires and to increase the reservoir of pure devotional service. It is unlimited but ever increasing. So Balabhabata is in a sort of a different mood, although eventually in the association with Gadadhara Pandit, he started to develop attraction towards Madhurya Ras, but basically he's Vatsalya Ras. And he came to Jagannath Puri. He's a great devotee. He's very famous in Gujarat especially, in the Pushti mark. He's like the acharya there. And he came to Jagannath Puri, and he was possessed a little showing. When devotees take particular roles, they really take the role very well. So he took the role of being very proud. He made a commentary on the Srimad Bhagavatam. And he wanted to present it to Lord Chaitanya. There's a little pride there. Please see my commentary. And the commentary wasn't in line with Sridhar Swami, the original or the most accepted commentator on the Bhagavatam. At least by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Sridhar Swami was considered to be the bona fide commentator. And when Lord Chaitanya was not at all satisfied, because there was pride in Balabhabata, he didn't even listen to it. He said, he was showing that actually my commentary is better than Sridhar Swami. And Lord Chaitanya rejected him. He said, he's just like a prostitute. Sridhar Swami is the Swami and the husband. So if you reject the husband, you're like a prostitute. That was his reaction to his endeavor to read. So everybody rejected him. Everyone rejected Balabhabata in Puri. All the devotees rejected him, basically speaking. And this is a common feature of it. So we were hearing yesterday from Bhagavat Prabhu was mentioning Bhagavat Dharma yesterday, the importance of Sadhu Sangha and Jana Sangha, the difference between the two. And only briefly, because time was short, but association is, on every level, is so essential. In the material world, people associate to nourish their mundane intentions, and according to their particular, you could say, conditioning. Some people are compassionate and are compatible, and some are not compatible, right? Some people are just not compatible, and you feel it, you just feel uncomfortable. Condition. In the spiritual realm also there's compatibility and incompatibility amongst devotees also. There's no animosity or envy because Krishna's in the center, but it's all part of Krishna's, let's say, pastime, or his pleasure, to bring pleasure to Krishna. So you can read in Nectar Devotion and other literatures various kinds of favorable relationships and unfavorable relationships. Rasa Bas, unfavorable, they don't mix properly, you don't get the necessary effect. So the same in the material world, and the same on our path in devotional service. We're trying to, let's say, transform from the conditional perspective to the Krishna conscious perspective. So certain association will be compatible at different stages. And maybe at other stages it would not be so compatible, but there's no negativity there. It's just as one progresses, then naturally different activities, different associations may become more compatible. So Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's showing various, you could say, lessons also. Now, in the pastimes of Gadadhara Pandit, I can't go very far because I don't have any eligibility, but there's the esoteric aspect, which is unending, be deep, realized. Then there's the historical one, which is what we usually hear, the historic one, you know. Gadadhara Pandit was born here in such and such a place in a certain time of these parents, and he was a childhood associate of Lord Chaitanya. They went to the Gangadhara's Tall, his school, and there Gadadhara Pandit was 1 year, more or less, or two younger than Lord Chaitanya. But they were close associates. Lord Chaitanya wouldn't let him go. And Gadadhara Pandit being very submissive, Lord Chaitanya, I suppose by modern day terminology, if we looked at it externally, would bully him. If you use modern, he would taunt him and challenge him with, you know, whatever. Illogical arguments, not even logical ones, illogical, and really disturb Gadadhara in some ways. He would disturb him. I don't know what this is. Where did that come from? Where did that come from? Got no idea where this comes from. It's not part of the slideshow. Mystical, huh? Where's it show? What's it showing on the screen? No, it's not. It's gone back to a funny format.
Do you want to speak on this slide?
Yeah, but it's not what should be on the screen, and it's not the full slide either. It's gone into a strange format. I don't know why.
Where's the mouse?
It was a full screen before, now it's gone to it.
Can you see the pointer?
Pardon?
I can't even see the pointer.
See the one?
Ah, there it is.
Here we go again. Is that okay now? So we've gone back to a previous verse of modern technology or not. Okay. Here. So what happened was that Balavabhata then became very, very depressed almost, disturbed, devastated. No one would take notice of him. He was like ignored. You know what it's like. Sometimes we get that. Child or something gets ignored. You know, because they react in a very turbulent way. But he was very disturbed. He was trying to find some way to, remove the pain which was in his heart. So he approached Gadadhara, who was very submissive, and he practically forced him to listen to his commentary. And Gadadhara, being submissive, wasn't able to say no. This is the nature of of Gadadhara, the nature of Chandravali. I can't say no. Always submissive. The Lord is her Lord. She's the Lord of Krishna. But Krishna is her Lord. So Gadadhara was like that. He was always very submissive, practically speaking. So he forced his commentary on him, and Gadadhara was praying, "Oh my Lord, save me." Even to hear is an offense. To hear, this is nothing compared to Sharyakabhasya or something of Shankaracharya. To hear impersonal philosophy or mundane talk or rubbish is so dangerous, associated with persons who want to impose rubbish on us, or criticisms, and so on and so forth. Destroys it. It's an offense against the holy name to hear it. Even to impart, that comes up later. That's an interesting opposite angle of the same point. We'll bring that up later. So we're going to look a little more, perhaps, at lessons than a little history and lessons. Say. The other third one, which we could probably think of many other angles, is lessons to learn. History, lessons to learn, and the esoteric aspects, which, to us at this point of time are, you could say, incredibly beyond our, maybe not totally, but beyond our digestive ability, even if we know, even if we can repeat what it says. It's very fascinating and captivating to hear. But realization, I don't know. So, what's happened now? Oh, is it back on the screen? We're having jolly good technical problems here. It's gone into another format now. I don't know what to make of this, I do not know. I don't know if this is what I want, but we'll battle on as best we can. So after that, Balabhacharya, maybe it's a sign we should give up technology altogether. At least me. I dream of that day. I was talking to one brahmachari yesterday, and I was saying, he lost his mobile phone. I said, lucky, you were fortunate. He found it. It was in the field in front of my hut. Miraculously, he dropped it in the field. Can you believe it? We found it in the field.
Wow.
Just happened to walk, and boom, there it was, amongst the grass. Happened to me one time. My mobile phone crashed. I think Janananda was with me that day. I don't know if she's not with us at the moment. But my mobile phone crashed, and even Avarini, you were there. Nobody could get it to work, and I thought, what a relief! It's dead. It's dead. But then they gave it back to me, and I got it working again straight away. Back to reality. What to do? We need these things for preaching, you could say. But ultimately, they're not going to save us. We have to take shelter of the reality. So, Gadadhara Pandit heard that. And of course, then it came to Lord Chaitanya's notice, and all the other devotees. Gadadhara Pandit was shunned for several days. Lord Chaitanya, all the devotees, practically. Whatever Lord Chaitanya's mood was, all the devotees would go along with it, So if he shunned someone, whether they liked it or not, everyone else did too, But it's a lesson to learn. And you could say sometimes Lord Chaitanya would teach us we should do it. All the time we're exposed to this, to mundane subject matters, or devotees who've got they want to impose themselves upon us with their issues and so on. And this, that and the other. It's a constant situation almost. We have to really take shelter, as Gadadhara Pandit did. He was praying in his heart fervently, my Lord, you know my heart, please save me. He couldn't save himself. So definitely at our point of devotion, what capacity do we have to protect ourselves? Practically speaking, none. Practically none. It was like a child. What capacity does a child have? I was listening to a lecture of Prabhupada this morning or last night, whatever it may have been, talking about how, yesterday we heard that too from Bhagavat Prabhu, how, not directly but indirectly, how in all societies previously, all young ladies would get married. They would be protected by their husbands. They would be protected by their fathers. They'd always be protected by the Swami, so to speak. Always be protected by the Master. And that's our situation. All of us, no matter what our condition we may be in right now, we have no hope unless we die unless we take shelter of the Supreme Lord. His material energy is very powerful. It's a reflection of the spiritual energy. It's an expansion of the spiritual energy. It's extremely powerful. Mahamaya is incredibly powerful to the conditioned soul. We cannot overcome that material energy, try as we may. We only hope is we take shelter of Krishna. And when we chant the Maha Mantra, what are we doing? Other than chanting something. What are we actually doing? At this stage, what is our heart? We're praying to the Lord. We're praying to Srimati Radharani, please give me your shelter. Please engage me in your devotional service. Please protect me under your spiritual energy. Place me in the spiritual energy. I'm under the material energy. We are hankering to come into that spiritual energy, personified here by Gadadhara Pandit, who is assisting the Lord. I can't get into the details of that. But for Lord Chaitanya's nourishment of his mood. Lord Chaitanya is also Radharani. So how is it? Two different aspects of Radharani, you could say, isn't it? And we could read it for what it's worth. I'm not going to. the esoteric reasons why the Radharani is also appearing as Gadadhara Pandit, but it's to further the intentions, the feelings of the Lord, the feelings of separation, the feelings of emotional relationship with Krishna, which in his form of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he's appeared in this way to experience that mood of separation, Vipulamba Bhav. So Gadadhara Pandit is absolutely intrinsic, impossible to do it without his presence practically. So we read on. So Lord Chaitanya punished him, and what can you say? This is the nature of the right wing. This is the nature of Gadadhara Pandit. He's very submissive. He always blames himself. It's like that. So we read on. I don't know what you've got on the screen because I haven't got what I want on my screen. Here we go. We're just rolling down. What have you got on there? Is it kind of rolling down a page, or is it?
Yeah.
Okay, so we just have to battle on with what we've got. Niguda Chaitanya Lila Bhujite Kara Shakti Se Bhuje Gorachandre Janra Dvida Bhakti. The pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu are very deep. Who can understand them? Only one who has firm faith, deep devotion to his lotus feet, can understand these pastimes. So again, we can understand this as a revelation. Especially in our line, and there are different lines of devotion coming down from Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, no doubt. But in our particular line, following the footsteps of Rupa Goswami, this is the mood. This is something which is realized by following the instruction or following the process of devotional service. It's not something which we can artificially impose. These are revelations. Another day, Gadadhara Pandit invited Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to dinner. We're still in line. Invited him to dinner. The Lord then took prasadam with his personal associates at Gadadhara Pandit's home. And this is going straight from that previous verse to this one. In other words, after a few days, Lord Chaitanya eased off and again accepted Gadadhara Pandit association, gave him his association again. So he went to his house to take prasadam. And if I had the book, we could read the translation. I didn't bring it. Maybe I did. Is it in here? I don't think I did.
Which one?
No, I don't think I have it. But the Lord, Gadadhara Pandit, Lord Chaitanya can't live without Gadadhara Pandit either. So this is a recurring feature, you could say, in loving exchanges, even in this world. Sometimes we experience that, we have an argument, we separate, the child from the parents, or the lover from the beloved, may separate friends from friends, but after a while they can't live without each other, they come back together again. This is there in the spiritual realm also. Interesting, because maybe verse coming up soon we'll see this pastime of separation coming up also. So they're back together again, and the Lord took prasadam. Gadadhara Pandit is the most, you can say, of cooks, he's the cook of cooks. Because he's Radharani in that mood. And there's another time, when he was in Puri, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Mayapur was with Gadadhara Pandit, pretty much as he could. There are so many famous interactions between Lord Chaitanya and Gadadhara Pandit in Mayapur. Probably the most famous one, I think, is the time when, after Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took initiation from Ishwar Puri and returned to Mayapur, he was like a different person. He was manifesting his devotion. Before that, he was manifesting his scholastic pastimes, and now he's manifesting his Sankirtan externally in his maddened emotions of separation or love of Godhead within. And sometimes he would go into a rage. Mother Sachi didn't know what to do. One day he was in such a rage, and he was crying and crying, "Where's the Lord of my heart? Where is Krishna? Where is he?" And it happened to Gadadhara Pandit was there. He tried to hold, the Lord was going crazy. And Gadadhara Pandit said, "Don't worry, where is he, Gadadhara? Where is the Lord of my heart?" "He's in your heart. He's in your heart, my Lord. Where is Krishna? He's in your heart." And so the Lord then took his nails, he started to try to rip his chest open to find him. Gadadhara was trying to hold his hands, but they were fighting like this. Mother Sachi was in the room next door. She was terrified what was going on. And then eventually Gadadhara said, "My Lord, don't worry. He will be coming very, very soon. Wait, be patient, be patient. He's just now coming." Typical saying, "He's just now coming." The Lord then cooled down. And Sachi Devi was very impressed by Gadadhara's able to control him in this maddened rage. And she said to him, "Please never leave his side. Only you can satisfy him. Only you can deal with this." So he was with him a lot of the time, whenever possible. They were at school, playing and everything. They were very close together. And even in Puri for most of the time. We don't hear so much about it, but a lot of the time Lord Chaitanya was with Gadadhara Pandit. A lot of the time. Maybe all the time. But from the perspective, our perspective, a lot of the time. And then, of course, another famous pastime took place in Mayapur. Another big lesson. At that time, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his associates were there, but some of his associates had not yet appeared. And one of them was named Pundarik Vijayanidhi. Pundarik Vijayanidhi lived in Chittagong, what is called now Chattogram in those days. And he was a great devotee of Lord Chaitanya, but not known in Navadvip, practically speaking. Lord Chaitanya knows everything. So he wasn't known by most of the devotees, although Pundarik did have a house in Navadvip. He was not known amongst the associates of the Lord very much, only a few of them. One of them was Mukunda, because Mukunda came from Chittagong, came from the same place. So he knew him from his childhood. And Mukunda said one day to Gadadhara Pandit, because Gadadhara Pandit was very submissive, always he wanted to hear, associate with advanced devotees. He was always hankering for that. So Mukunda said to him one day, "Would you like to meet a very, very advanced devotee who's just arrived here in Navadvip?" Naturally, Gadadhara said, "Oh yes, please. Please, please, introduce me to that personality." An amazing relationship between Mukunda and Gadadhara. So he took him to the house where Pundarik Vijayanidhi was residing. And Pundarik Vijayanidhi was not an ordinary devotee by external vision. He was very, very rich and opulent. Just happened to be a very opulent person. And his house in Navadvip was very opulent. And he dressed very opulently. And all the paraphernalia within the house was very opulent. There were hookah pipes for smoking, and all sorts of things were in there. Pan, perfumes. He was like ladies sometimes do with the pan, powder puffs. Scented. His hair was groomed long, curly, silky hair being combed by servants with oils and various things. Mirrors, beautiful decorated mirrors which he was looking into. Except didn't at all look like the sight of, because Gadadhara Pandit, another quality was he was extremely renounced, extremely simple, very simple. Very renounced. And so when they entered into the house, they offered obeisances. And Pundarik, immediately knowing his old associate Mukunda, they welcomed each other. And then Pundarik said, "Who is this effulgent young brahmachari with you? This young man, who is this?" And Mukunda introduced him to Pundarik. And oh, very wonderful to meet. But in the meantime, Gadadhara Pandit was having some doubts in his mind. What kind of advanced devotee is this? Here he is. Look what he's dressed like. Advanced devotee is dressing like a very foppish way. Seems like he's enjoying it. He seems like a Vishai. He doesn't seem like a devotee. At least a very materialistic one. He was having some doubts in his mind. You can imagine. We probably were not on any level of advancement. We probably would too. We'd have a hard time working it out. So he was having doubts, and Mukunda was very perceptive. He could see doubts in the heart of Gadadhara. So at that moment, Mukunda started reciting verses from the Srimad Bhagavatam. He started reciting verses of how merciful Krishna is. When the Lord appeared to Yasoda and Nanda Maharaj, the first demon who appeared was Putana. And how Putana came to poison Krishna with her breath milk. And instead of killing Krishna, Krishna killed Putana. He sucked her breast with great joy and sucked her life air out together with the poison and everything else that came out. Everything. And sucked her life air out. She and she assumed her demoniac form and was finished off. So he gave her a form equivalent to on the same mood as Mother Yasoda. She didn't become Mother Yasoda, of course. She was a nurse in the spiritual realm in Golok. She became a nurse, assisting in that mood. So how merciful is that Lord that someone comes to kill him and he elevates them to one of his eternal associates in the spiritual realm. Who could be more merciful than my Lord? So Pundarik Vijayanidhi is sitting there. I'm visualizing him once or twice, I can't remember, once I believe. We did this drama in Auckland, and it was one of the most dynamic dramas I've ever been in. And I had the role of Pundarik Vijayanidhi. So it was pretty dramatic. Pretty dramatic, to say the least. I've had a few like this, but this was probably the most dramatic of all. At that moment, on hearing those verses from the Bhagavatam, Pundarik could not conceal himself any longer. He went into an ecstatic rage, ripping his clothes to shreds, smashing everything to pieces, flying off of his throne, rolling on the floor, smashing the ground, screaming, Krishna, 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 going crazy, mad. Nobody could control him. 8 persons couldn't hold him down. He was going mad, absolute mad in separation from Krishna, absolutely crazed. All the symptoms of ecstatic love were just bursting from his form, even from the external point of view. And then he went into complete inner silence, as if dead. For a long time he just lay there. And eventually he came back to external consciousness. Where we did this in Auckland, I literally flew off the stage and crashed into the audience. Not even a scratch. It happens in dramas like this. There's some mystic powers. So after that, when Gadadhara Pandit was stunned, he was so taken aback, and in that mood of feeling complete repentance. And that we'll see tonight. There's another aspect related to Bhakti Vinod Thakur. In total repentance about the fear fact that he had a doubt towards Pandita Vijayanidhi. He felt terrible, absolutely terrible, that he had any kind of negative feeling whatsoever. And when Pundarik came back to external consciousness, Gadadhara Pandit thought the only thing I can do is surrender to Pundarik. The only thing I can do to atone for this, to give my life to him. So he requested Mukunda if he could please kindly take shelter like this. And with the permission of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, at a suitable time he did. He took initiation from Pundarik Vijayanidhi. Even though Lord Chaitanya was present at that time, he took initiation from Pundarik Vijayanidhi. And Pundarik Vijayanidhi in Krishna Lila is none other than King Vrishabhana. It's a very interesting relationship. Because Gadadhara Pandit being Radharani in that mood. And it's very interesting also because you could say, well, that's another level altogether, but in one sense, Pundarik Vijayanidhi is in Vatsalya Bhava. And Gadadhara Pandit is in Madhurya Bhava. But that's another thing, which we'll come to in a minute if time allows. So after that was all settled up, of course, everyone goes their ways. Lord Chaitanya took sannyas and went to Puri. Shortly after taking sannyas, Gadadhara Pandit also went to Puri and stayed there under the direction of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who told him to stay in Puri and not leave, to take Kshetra sannyas, which means you don't have to be an official sannyasi to take this vow, which means that I dedicate myself. For instance, I'm sure many of you have taken Kshetra sannyas to stay for your whole life in New Mayapur and not go anywhere. That's what's needed. That type of dedication is what's required for this project to actually grow. Compatible devotees working together take Kshetra sannyas and dedicate themselves to the pleasure of the deities, the pleasure of Srila Prabhupada here in New Mayapur. He did that under Lord Chaitanya to satisfy Lord Chaitanya's desires. So Lord Chaitanya gave him his appointed service to worship Tota Gopinath, the deity of Gopinath, right there in Puri. Interesting to note that Bhaktivinoda Thakur's Bhajan Kutir is very close to the Tota Gopinath temple, or at least it was. That's another history. It used to be there, very close to the Tota Gopinath temple. A close relationship there between Bhaktivinoda Thakur and Gadadhara Pandit. So, in fact, they both left the world on the same day also. So he was serving there for basically his whole devotional life. He served there at the Tota Gopinath temple. And Lord Chaitanya would come there practically daily with his associates. Gadadhara Pandit, as related, of course, we can understand one of the reasons that Balavam went to him in Puri with his commentary on the Srimad Bhagavatam was Gadadhara Pandit was a personification of all the various moods of Srimad Bhagavatam, all the rasas, everything. And Lord Chaitanya's associates would come every day for, he said, about 3 hours a day. And would just hear in the association of Gadadhara Pandit, the Srimad Bhagavatam. He would recite the Bhagavatam every day. And everyone would relish. And not just, Rasa Lila or 10th canto Bhagavatam. Lord Chaitanya would relish, deeply relish when Gadadhara Pandit would read or discuss the pastimes of Dhruva Maharaj and Prahlad Maharaj especially. But every day they would hear the Bhagavad recital from Gadadhara Pandit. That was one of his main roles, as dancing, worshipping Tota Gopinath, reciting Srimad Bhagavatam, cooking. He was very, very expert cook, very expert. One time he was in this temple there. Nityananda came there one day. He invited Nityananda. Nityananda came, and Nityananda had just come from Bengal. He brought 40 kilos of the most fine rice you could ever imagine. Such excellent rice. And Nityananda asked Gadadhara, please cook this rice and offer it to Gopinath, which he did. The rice was so fine and delicious. incomparable. This rice, Gadadhara said, well, where did you get this rice? This rice must be from Vaikuntha. This is not from this planet. And when they cooked it, Janananda said, your cooking is not from this planet. It's from Vaikuntha. You are indeed none other than Lakshmi Devi. Because she's Radharani. And the cooking was incomparable. Lord Chaitanya also came, and they all took this rice together. Incredible rice, prasadam. Sometimes the rice is not quite like that in our experience, but rice is the king of all foods, practically speaking. We may not see it like that. We see in Chaitanya Lila how rice comes up, so even in Chaitanya Lila. You see in the pastimes of Sudama the Brahmin, rice comes up so many times. Such amazing food stuff. Anyway, back to Puri, and so that was a nice pastime of cooking. I may have some comments on that. Let me see. This is in Chaitanya Bhagavat. Many of these pastimes are from Chaitanya Bhagavat more than Chaitanya Charitamrita. Here. Oh, here's another pastime in Puri. It's really instructive pastime. Pundarik Vijayanidhi didn't come very often to Puri, very rarely, maybe only once. He was in Chittagong and Navadvip. So one time in Puri, as we've already heard, Gadadhara Pandit associate with Bhagavad and consider this was a big mistake for him to hear after being rejected by Mahaprabhu. Gadadhara Pandit associated with him. So he was submissive, he had this little tendency. So here we find one day Gadadhara Pandit asked the Lord about the initiation mantra which he had been given by Pundarik Vijayanidhi. He'd been giving an initiation mantra. And Gadadhara continued, he said, I have given someone my initiation mantra, and now I am not getting realization from chanting it. Now we can, practical terminology. One is by association. Prabhupada describes in his commentary on the 10 offences against the holy name, the 9th offence, to preach to the faithless. Prabhupada says it means to give initiation to an unqualified person. So, in a sense, this is what's referred to here. That he's feeling like that anyway. This is the natural nature of a submissive devotee. He doesn't defend his activity, but rather condemns it. So he's like that. And he's feeling, I've made this mistake, and now I'm not getting any taste anymore. I'm not feeling any relationship with anymore. I need to be reinitiated. I need to receive the mantra again. So he then asked to Lord Chaitanya, you please give that mantra to me again, and then my mind will be joyful. He's asking Lord Chaitanya. And Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj says, mantra refers to the sound vibration by which one can give up thoughts of material enjoyment. If an instructor instructs mantras to a faithless person, his heart becomes polluted. If one loses transcendental knowledge because of bad association, then one must gather it again. In other words, one must associate properly and hear properly in the proper association to rectify them. Knowing this fact, Sri Gadadhara Pandit Goswami requested Sri Gaurasundar to give him reinitiation. But Mahaprabhu told him to receive mantra again from his original guru. Sri Gadadhara Pandit's guru was Pundarik Vijayanidhi. The Lord then continued, you already have a spiritual master, so be careful. Don't become an offender. What to speak of a mantra? I can give even my life to you, but it would not be proper to give you mantra while your spiritual master is alive. Gadadhara said, he's not here now, so you can do it in this place. The Lord then said, by the arrangement of providence, your spiritual master, Pundarik Vijayanidhi, will come soon, and you will easily meet him. So he came very soon, and sure enough, that's what happened. Another time when Lord Chaitanya was in Puri, he wanted to go to Vrindavan all the time, you could say, but one time when he decided to go, and as he was leaving, Gadadhara Pandit came with him. And Lord Chaitanya said, don't come. You've taken Kshetra Sannyas. Your duty is to stay here and serve. Gopinath, you can't come with me. I'm going to Vrindavan. Wherever you are, my Lord, that is Vrindavan. You are Gopinath. He was trying to argue in so many ways. To hell with my resolution. To hell with my promise. What does it matter? He wanted to give everything up. For a little while, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu allowed him to come. They got a katak and that was it, Lord Chaitanya said. At that point, now you've broken your promise and fulfilled your desire. Now you must return to Puri and continue your service. And Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went on. Of course, Gadadhara Pandit was devastated. So when we make that vow, which we've all done, those who are initiated, that is, we should stick with it. Maybe sometimes there's a little difficulty, but we should return and stick to our vows. Not justify leaving in so many different ways. If we really want to progress in spiritual life, so the lessons are there. So many lessons in this particular pastimes of Gadadhara Pandit. How we at our stage can also become faithful in our devotional service to our spiritual master, to our disciplic succession, to the vows which we've taken, to the ultimate goal of our lives, to the mission which Lord Chaitanya has delivered to the world, Sankirtan movement, to other devotees, how to associate. Everything is taught in this particular, externally, what to speak. And if we do advance in Krishna consciousness, which we hope we do, then other lessons, other realizations, other levels of this reciprocations which are going on here will be realized. It's just like when we read the Bhagavatam, each time you read it, it's like we've never read it before. It's an ever-fresh experience. Another realization comes as our eyes open, as our eyes become clear of the material desire by chanting the mantra given to us, which is a mantra, as Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj said here, which clears away all these material coverings in our hearts if we take shelter of the mantra which we've received from our spiritual masters. Like that. Gradually everything will become clear. Everything will be realized. And that's our present situation. And in the mood of Gadadhara Pandit, who is very submissive, and like that, we try to be very submissive to our spiritual masters, but not submissive to bad association. We have to learn the opposite lesson also. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. I don't know where it's gone, it's disappeared altogether. What have you got on the screen now? No, don't turn it off, I haven't finished, but I don't know what that is. There's something wrong with the whole program here. It says Jai Prabhupada. I don't know what on earth that is. I've never seen it in my life before. It must be your computer, I think. Oh, I see. It's your computer. Okay. Just a few more verses to cap off. One or two very important ones. Oh, the computer's locked. I don't have that problem because I don't lock my computer. Here we go. Just as well we're not taking breakfast. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was always merciful within his heart, but he was sometimes externally negligent. We've read these verses. Gadadhara Pandit's pure ecstatic love for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was also very deep. It was like that of Rukmini Devi, who was always especially submissive to Krishna. Rukmini Devi. In Dwarka, she's the prominent queen, you could say. But she's not in the mood of Radharani, she's in the mood of Chandravali. In different pastimes, expansions of Radharani appear differently, you could say. Radharani herself. In Dwarka Lila, she's Satyabhama. And in Gaur Lila, she's Janananda Pandit. So they cross over like this. Here, the expansion of Radharani also, the pastimes of the Lord. So Rukmini Devi, Gadadhara Pandit has very much her mood, very submissive. Rukmini Devi couldn't, when the Lord wanted to test her, Krishna always tested, sometimes he tests the devotees, always testing us. But he sometimes tests his intimate associates too, just to show the extent of their bhav, of their moods. They're so pervasive. When Krishna tested her, he said, "Oh, I'm not a qualified husband. You should have chosen Shishupal. He's much more qualified than I am. There are so many more qualified persons than me. I'm just no good for nothing. Go and find another husband. Someone more qualified." She just fainted. She couldn't bear the very thought of that, what to speak of. She didn't oppose it. She just collapsed on the ground completely. And the Lord, of course, brought her back, caressed her. But same thing with Gadadhara Pandit. He was so submissive to the Lord. And occasionally a little bit. And once upon a time, Rukmini also was a little unsubmissive. And Krishna was always pining for the association of the gopis in Dwarka, always pining for that association. And of course, Rukmini was aware of that. And she's sometimes asking, why? What is it? She said, well, I can give up everyone else, but I can never give up my associates in Vrindavan. So that was at one time when she did take it a bit too far to heart, and she left Dwarka and ended up in Pandharpur and stayed there for a while. So a little bit of that element was there in her at that time. She stayed there, and that's a long story also, it's quite unique actually. And how eventually Krishna, of course, he couldn't live without her. He went everywhere looking for her, and eventually came into Pundaruk Dham. So it's also related to this. I guess it's gone, so I'm not still. Who is always in that mood of Rukmini Devi. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu sometimes desired to see Gadadhara Pandit's affectionate anger, but because of his knowledge of the Lord's opulence, his anger was never invoked. This is the mood. A little bit of Aishwarya Bhav there in Dwarka. A little bit there. A little bit of that mood of, he is my Lord, how can I can't get angry with him, I can't oppose him, he's my Lord. So he had a little bit of that mood. I wanted to agitate you, the Lord said, but you did not become agitated. Indeed, you could not say anything in anger. Instead, you tolerated everything. Your mind was not disturbed by my tricks. Rather, you stayed fixed in your simplicity. In this way, you have purchased me. The devotee too, sometimes the Pirsham Master may test, and it's to see how we react. How we react. You can see where the devotees act, how they react. Not what's said so much, but how we react to what is said. That's the test. And we'll finish off, I think, more or less with this little couplet, maybe one more verse. Smara Gora Gadadhara Keli Kalambava Gora Gadadhara Pakshachara. Smara Gora Gadadhara Keli Kalambava Gora Gadadhara Pakshachara. Shinugara Gadada Charukatang Bhaja Godum Makam Nakunja Vidum.
Shri Gora Gadadhara Charukatam Bhaja Godrumakanana Kunja Vinum.
This is a song written by Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Bhaja Godrumakanana Kunja Vinum. He worshipped Gaur Gadadhara. Just remember the artistically playful pastimes of Gaur and Gadadhara. Just become a loyal follower of Gaur and Gadadhara's camp. Just listen to the captivating stories of Gaur and Gadadhara, and just worship the beautiful moon of Godruma's forest boughs. Bhaktivinoda Thakur worshipped Gaur Gadadhara, as well as Radha Madhava. They were his worshipable deities. You can see them there in Godrumadhupa. Say mantra to me. Oh, we've done that before. And there's Gadadhara Pandit reciting Bhagavad Gita, Lord Chaitanya's associates. And there are his Bhaktivinoda's deities of Gaur Gadadhara. Shri Shri Gaur Gadadhara ki jai. Shri Gadadhara Pandit ki jai. Gaur Premanande. So this evening we'll hear about Bhaktivinoda Thakur if we're still here and he's still around. Krishna wills. Hare Krishna, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Janananda Maharaja.
Hare Krishna, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. To the assembled devotees ki jai. Hare Krishna. If anyone wants to stay on, we'll be chanting, if we stay awake, until noon. Bhajans of Bhaktivinoda Thakur. And you're most welcome to join us.
When will you have today evening? What
Bhaktivinoda.
time?
7 o'clock, I suppose.
I was told that I have my seminar from 7 to 8.
I told
Okay.
I might mention that to Lochan before.
Do you still need it? Do you still need
They
this
said to me that
projector?
you'll have today and tomorrow's morning.
How many days do you need for the seminar?
So if you have today and today evening, what about tomorrow morning? You will have tomorrow morning also.
Yeah, but that's Pandita Maharaja.
Yes, and tomorrow's evening?
And tomorrow we won't be here right now.
Oh yes.
Sunday morning you can do, Sunday evening you can do, Monday morning you can do, Monday evening.
Okay. Yes.
Potentially 4 sessions.
Yes, I need 4 sessions. I
Leaving
covered.
Tuesday. Leaving Tuesday.
Yes, either Tuesday or Monday evening, because I go from Bouvet, or what is this airport called?
What time's your flight?
At noon something,
Where are you flying to?
to Sweden.